What's up, everybody? So today what I have for you is we're finally gonna dive into this Losi 8ight-x 2.0 kit. So this kit comes with everything that you need to either build an electric or a nitro race buggy. So I already went ahead, I did part A, B, and C on a live stream a few weeks ago. It was the shocks, the diffs, and the turnbuckles for the steering and the upper for the rear and the front. So we'll go through the rest of the kit and we'll put it together. The paint will be another part, and I don't have my tires yet. But we'll get through most of this kit in this video, time lapse. I'll break off. We'll talk about it, guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, guys. So it is included in the kit is this manual, and I have to say, this is very easy to follow. All your bags are labeled as per the manual, and you just go through and you follow everything. I went through, I put all the diff fluid and the shock oils that came in with the kit. I'm not trying to go above and beyond right now. I just want to see how this is set up, tuned by TLR right from the factory. So like I said, everything's labeled. You know, this is part B. Part B was all the shocks. And then part C was your turnbuckle. So now I got all that stuff done. We're going to start with part D. Okay, guys? All right, guys. Part D, you just grab out the bag and just slice into it. I recommend having a garbage pail right between your legs while you're putting this together. Looks like we got some arms in part D. Different setup blocks, shock towers, diff houses. You know, and each one of these bags inside the bag is labeled. And then you just go through and you start right from the beginning of your next bag and you work your way right through to the end. I do recommend grabbing a magnetic tray. This is nice to put all the hardware in so that while you're building your kit, you are able to know where all your hardware is and it's not going all over your table. Having a rubber mat helps, guys, especially one that's compartmentalized like this. You're able to kind of segregate everything and make your work area more conducive to what you're trying to do. So it looks like part D1 is we're going to go through and build your diff house. All right, guys, so I pretty much got this diff house together enough to get
front diff.
Now, you have two diffs with a helical ring gear. So just make sure that you grab the right diff.
Front diff
is the one without the standoff on the ring gear. And then you just place it in there and make sure it rides on its bearings and that you're not binding it at all. The only thing that I'm going to change up is I'm going to install this with cow RC grease, the udder butter, instead of the TLR grease. Alright, guys, so it may just be because it is the initial assembly, but this back diff cover, you need to really make sure it seats itself. Don't be afraid to give it some nice, gentle, even force, but you will have to push sort of hard. Alright, guys, so after I assembled the back plate onto this diff house, I was getting a little bit of binding. It was putting too much pressure on the bearing. So what I just did is I backed all the screws off just off a snug. I don't see it being a huge problem because everything is threaded into plastic. But like I said, it's just there was too much binding in this ring and pinion gear, which causes heat and too much friction. So it's always best to remedy the situation before you get too far ahead of yourself. Alright guys, now that we have completely assembled this diff house, let's move on to the CVD axles. Alright guys, this is how far we are. We have the front end looking like something now. Up until this point, it was very simple to do, just following the instructions. There are just minor things. As long as you are mechanically inclined with these RC cars and trucks, that you'll know what to do. You'll know how to adjust different clearances. Just make stuff roll more smoothly. But other than that, guys, I think it's looking really sweet. Alright everybody, so there it is. Front end is complete and ready to be bolted onto the chassis. Now I'm not going to go ahead and do that yet because in the instructions, bag E is next. So we'll go ahead, we'll get bag E started and I'll bring you back periodically. Alright guys, I got a little update on the rear end. We got the diff house all together. And now we just have to get our arms together and then we'll get everything bolted on as the kit says. Alright guys, so it's really starting to look like something here with the rear end. At the point where I'm going to put on the sway bar and the pieces are slowly leaving their bags and my tray and making it on. So guys, I'm really enjoying this kit right now. It's like I've said in the unboxing, it's kind of therapeutic, if you would. It just clears your mind and it exercises your mind. Your mind is like a muscle that needs to be worked. You know what I'm saying? So, alright guys, I'll check back in another minute. Alright guys, well I got the rear end all done. This is the real rear end this time and not the front that I thought was the rear. But like I said guys, this was a very smooth kit to put together. As long as you follow the instructions, you'll do just fine. Even without RC experience, if you have just a small little bit of any type of mechanical inclination, you will be able to put this kit together without a hitch. The screws, you can just line them up in the manual and size them. It's great. It was a great kit. It's like a Lego set basically, but with screws and parts. So the one thing I will mention is I had to shim my rear diff. I put 2 of the included shims on the ring gear side, and I just had to move that ring gear over 2 shims width to get it to mesh the best, because don't want to do it twice guys. But like I said, rear end's done, front end's done. Next is building the center diff towers. I'm going to call it a night tonight, and we'll continue this another day.